everyone, welcome back. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Janice.
And we are Mommy Mentions. This week we are actually switching up the topics again, but we're going to have a more, it's going to be more of a serious topic. We're actually going to be talking about postpartum today. And it's really a serious topic and a very touchy topic, I think, because I think a lot of women don't really speak on it because they don't know how if people will relate to them or judge them.
Or they don't know that they're going through it.
Right.
And they don't know what it is, and it's just, they think that they're just tripping, or people are telling them they're just tripping.
Right. And that's why they may feel like people won't relate to them because of how they feel too.
Yeah.
Because it's an unusual feeling for sure.
Right.
It's something that you're not used to feeling. And you don't realize that your body goes through so much after having a baby. It changes, yes, while you're pregnant, but once you have your baby, your body goes through a whole nother change as well.
Right.
Trying to regulate again. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So first off, we can kind of start off with
what is postpartum depression?
Yeah, let's do that.
So this article, it says postpartum depression, or PPD, is a form of clinical depression that begins after the birth of a baby. Common symptoms include loss of appetite, excessive crying or fatigue, difficulty bonding with your baby, restlessness and insomnia, anxiety and panic attacks, feeling intensely overwhelmed, angry, hopeless, or shameful. No one knows for sure what causes postpartum depression, but like any other kind of depression, it's probably several different things.
Right. And you don't have to have all of those symptoms to be going through postpartum or experience postpartum. You can just have some of those symptoms and actually be going through postpartum. It's really hard to talk about, to be honest, and I know a lot of people a lot of women, I should say, are hesitant to speak on it, like I had said previously. We actually received an email from a subscriber that gave a suggestion about the topic of postpartum because of a conversation that came up with a coworker of hers. And then she also sent a link that she had saw or had read about a woman who was experiencing postpartum. This lady, she loved kids. She loved being around kids. She couldn't wait to be a mother. Her and her husband had a baby, but she just could not bond with her baby. And she just was not feeling herself. She couldn't figure it out. She felt like she was a horrible mom because of how she was feeling and because she couldn't bond with her baby. And she ended up actually committing suicide. Her husband was very helpful. She said he was a big help to her, but it just wasn't sitting right for her because of how she was feeling, and she could not relate with friends or family members. We'll drop the link below as far as if you would like to read the full article about what happened to this young lady and her experience with the postpartum. We will drop that below, but that's just one instance of what women actually go through. And I actually read where they said that there's a certain percentage of women that experience postpartum because they don't have a certain outlet, or they don't get treated,
right?
Or people don't, not so much even sympathize, but understand where they're coming from. Mm-hmm. That they do end up committing suicide because they have nobody to go to talk to, no kind of outlet.
And there have been some cases where moms have actually killed their babies.
Yeah.
Which,
that's like another level.
Yeah. And it's sad though, because a lot of the time in the Black community, going to talk to a counselor or a therapist is like frowned upon. You don't want nobody telling your business. You shouldn't be telling nobody business that happens in the house. But if you need to go, if you feel like I just need to talk to somebody, then a lot of the times if you have insurance through your job, it covers it. And a lot of people don't know that.
Right.
And just go, just talk. And you can just go sit down with a therapist and not say anything. And then the next time you go, you may talk a little bit more. And then the next time you're getting stuff off your chest, it's just the first step.
Right.
And I think more people need to hear that it's okay to see a therapist. It does not mean that you're crazy.
Right.
It does not mean that
something's wrong
with you. It's just, if you feel like you can't talk to someone that is like family or your significant other, not saying that it's a bad thing that you don't feel like you can talk. Maybe you feel like you can't talk to them because you feel like they can't relate, like you said.
Or that they might judge you.
Yeah, correct.
Which hopefully they wouldn't, but that might be something that you may feel.
Right. And going to a therapist, counselor, whatever, is probably one of the best steps that you can take, honestly. I had to talk to a therapist. They did the whole postpartum check after Gia was born, and they're like, okay, well, we'll do a follow-up, because some of my answers were kind of like high up on the chart, I guess you can say. And I talked to this one therapist lady over the phone. I didn't go in, over the phone. It was like every Friday for like a few weeks.
Oh, okay.
And after a while, she was like, okay, well, it sounds like you're getting better. Like, how about you just call me if you need to talk?
Right. And
I was good after a while. At least I felt like I was good after a while. Nothing extreme, nothing like I stopped crying a lot. And it was cool. But the thing that got me to actually talk to her was Gary was like, you might want to talk to somebody. Because not just like, oh, you can talk to me. I know I can talk to him. It was, you may want to talk to someone professional.
Right.
You know? And I mean, I'm glad he told me that, because I used to be like, I don't need to talk to no therapist. I ain't crazy. But it was beneficial, you know?
Yeah. See, and that's something that me and you haven't even talked about.
Right.
We haven't even had that conversation.
Told nobody
about
that.
So it's like, this is like the kind of like the platform, like another reason why we want to start this podcast as well, because a lot of people don't have these conversations because, like she said, it may be frowned upon.
Right.
And you may feel like you don't want people to know your business. But for sure, do it. When I noticed that I was going through postpartum, like, I finally acknowledged it. It was obviously it was like a couple of weeks in for me being home with my son and everything. And I could tell, because everything would make me cry, or I would just feel like just sad. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, this is really postpartum. Like, this is what it feels like.
Yeah.
But then I started feeling like really anxious. And that became like, and then I felt overwhelmed. But nothing where it was like too much. It was just like, actually, you gotta like relax. Like, you gotta, like, you can't do everything. And it was like me trying to balance and try to figure everything out while I was still trying to heal from my incision at the same time. It was like at the point where I would have to tell, like, my husband and my mom had to tell me, like, you got to make sure you're okay, because if you're not okay, then how are you going to take care of DJ?
Right.
Like,
right.
You know, and I was like, he was my priority. Like, as soon as I had him, that's all. Like, DJ's my priority. He's number one. And then, like, I would be, like, slacking on making sure I'm okay. Like, I would just be like, oh, I'm good. And be like, no, you have to make sure you eat, you're drinking water, you're doing this, you're doing that.
Right.
Because if you don't, and I do breastfeed, and so it's like, you have to have all this nutrients.
Right.
To be able to feed your son if you're trying to. And so then it was like, oh, okay. Like, it was like me still trying to figure it out, you know? And so, anytime I just bust out in tears and crying and stuff, I would talk to my husband about it. And I just thought, okay, it will eventually go away. I thought it was still fresh.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, here I am, 5 months postpartum, and I'm still dealing with it, you know? And I have noticed that I'm, like, more anxious, and, like, some anxiety kicks in, because it's like I'm trying to be the best mom I could be, the perfect mom. But, you know, no one's a perfect parent. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
I saw something that I saw a quote, and I'm probably gonna post it on Instagram on Mommy Mentions, and it said it's something to the effect like, there's no perfect parent, just be a real one.
Yeah.
And so
I saw that.
I seen that, and I was just kind of like, that's true. Like, there really isn't. Even people that think that they are a perfect parent, they're not. And one big thing is social media has a lot of influence on people, on all of us, especially celebrities, because a lot of us follow celebrities, and when we look at them after they have a baby, they're glammed up,
snatched. They got their hair done, makeup done, all that.
And it's like they're going places, taking trips. They just got it. It looks like they just have it all together. But when you think about it, on our end, like us as being just regular people, like, you know,
we don't have a nanny.
No, we don't. Right, we don't have chefs to be able to be like, okay, I'm back on my meal plan. We don't have all these expensive personal trainers. Obviously, we can get trainers to do that. But I mean, like, you know, the stuff that they have, like nannies, like you said, they don't have maids, housekeepers. They don't have the chefs to cook us foods to make sure that we're eating healthy or whatever. When you're a mom, you're just trying to eat what you can get to get into your system.
Just to be like,
if it's healthy, it's healthy. If it's not, it's not. It's like, you know, as long as it's nothing crazy, you know. And so it's like, you can't compare yourself to them, because in our reality, that's not realistic.
Right.
And if they were in our shoes, they would be struggling or trying to juggle. Right. Just like we do. Like, and it's juggling, especially if you're a first time mom. And then first time mom,
working full time.
Yeah.
Trying to just do everything.
It's just like you trying to figure it all out still. Like, this is new to you. Your baby new to you.
Right.
Like, y'all new to each other. Like, it's all new. But do you know what? On top of that, even if you're not a first time mom, if you have 2 kids, 3 kids, and you're trying to juggle all that, that's even more that you're trying to juggle, because you have more responsibilities as far as being a parent.
Right.
And so don't try to compare yourself and your experience to what you see on social media, because social media is fooling. Like, it's deceiving. It's not reality. Well, it's really not our real reality. And 9 times out of 10, some of these celebrities is not their reality either. They just make it look that good. You know, like, everything right now, like, obviously with everything that's going on with the pandemic, I've basically been in the house. Okay, like I had stated in like 2 podcasts ago, I believe. I really just try to stay in the house, social distance and all that stuff. Me and my son, and it's just kind of like, and me and my husband too, he might go out, like I said, a little bit more than us, but we really just be in the house. And my husband's told me, like, you need to really get out the house. You and DJ need to get out the house. Let's go for a walk. Or even if we just go for a drive to go get a pickup or something. You guys got to get out the house. And he was telling me, like, this is beneficial for you as well, because you being in the house is not helping the postpartum at all. It's actually kind of making it worse, you know. And I was just kind of like, okay, yeah. And then I finally had to talk to someone too. And the person I talked to is my dad. And I know people like, your dad? Well, my dad's a pastor. But not only is he a pastor, but he actually has his doctorate in family counseling. So I actually had to sit down and actually talk to him. And he actually had to walk me through for me to pinpoint where it started and what's my triggers. And it actually was beneficial, because even though I was like acknowledging what was going on with me, it was more like, for me to actually talk it out. Yeah. And it be explained. Yeah. It was kind of like, okay. And he even said, you're going to have to trust God, and you're going to need to get out the house. You and DJ need to get out the house each day and go outside. Like, you guys can still social distance, but you guys need to get out the house. And, you know, and I'm just like, yeah, I know. I'm like, Daniel, that's my husband, he's been telling me that. Like, you know.
You're like, but when Dad says it.
Right. And so I told Daniel, like, well, my dad said this and this. And he was like, so basically what I've been telling you all along, you know. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I know. And I said, I told him that you've been telling me that I need to get out the house. But, and you know what? It's like, God has not given us a spirit of fear. That's what the Bible says. And, you know, we're all human. I'm human. I'm not, nobody's perfect. If you claim to be perfect, you're not perfect. I'm sorry. There's nobody perfect, you know. And so I'm human. And so I'm just more like, okay, I gotta be careful. Okay. But my thing is, like, I gotta just keep my faith in God and allow Him to work it all out like He has been, you know. And so that's just stuff. It's just steps that you have to take to acknowledge what's going on with you. To even acknowledge that you have postpartum,
right?
Because some people can actually be in denial that they're not even dealing with it. They can just think it's something else and put it on the back burner.
And some people, just like your mom said, oh, it's supposed to be gone by now. Postpartum can last up to a year, really up to 3 years.
They say if it's not treated,
if it's not treated, it can last up to 3 years. And a lot of people don't know that. They think, oh, it's been 4 weeks, 6 weeks, I'm good. No,
like
it may not be 6 to 8 weeks. It may not be 4 weeks. It may not even be the year. It may be up to 3 years and untreated, like you said. And to acknowledge it, and then to do something about it,
right,
is what needs to happen.
Like you need to take those steps,
right?
Because my mom was like, I don't like your postpartum should have been gone by now. And then that's when I was like, no, I think I read where it said that it can actually last like 6 months to a year. But then, like you said, if it's not treated, it actually go further.
Right.
But back then, when our parents had kids, when my mom, she said she experienced postpartum with my brothers. My brothers are twins, so I could probably understand. Because that's a lot to juggle, you know. But I don't think she remembers it even. Right. I don't think she remembers it lasting that long. And I think back then they didn't really talk about postpartum like that.
They probably didn't.
I don't think it was even anything like.
Could have been more like. They probably talked more about the baby blues.
Right.
Which is kind of the same thing, but not really.
Not as in depth. Not in depth, but
as intense.
Right. There you go. Yeah. Right. So that's why she was like, I think it should have been gone by now, you know. But once I started talking to her about it and sending her different links on it, then she was she understood oh, okay, this is what, you know. But that's why we said it's just now starting to where people or women are starting to get more comfortable with talking about it,
right?
You know. And then I read that dads can actually experience some postpartum symptoms. They won't have the pain, obviously, but they actually said because it's a new adjustment to the dads. They're a new dad. They're not always going to be number one, obviously in the woman's life anymore. It's a new adjustment. So they can start feeling depressed or feeling out of place.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, but once I started doing some research on it,
which makes sense because, how if you have a new baby, the dad's probably oh, well, the baby only wants the mom, and the baby don't like me, and it's not that the baby doesn't like you. It's the fact that the baby was in our womb for 9 to 10 months, and that's all they know is us. But that makes sense. I never. And then too,
because they think you don't have time for them. Us as the mom don't have time for our significant others anymore. And it's just no, it's not that. It's just right now this little baby needs me.
And then by the time I'm done, I'm tired.
Right. And it's just kind of you're still balancing. You're still trying to balance it all. So guys go through it too. I'm sure I haven't heard. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let us know. We're really trying to open up this conversation in regards to postpartum, but we're actually trying to open conversation up with all of our podcasts on topics that we discuss. Have you guys heard of men experiencing some postpartum, you know? And don't be ashamed to say if you have or have. It's okay. Even as a woman, if you want to drop comments below, send us an email.
Ask questions.
Right. If you want to talk to us because you feel like you just want to talk to somebody. No, we're not professionals. We're just moms, and we can just tell you our experiences thus far. What we experienced with postpartum. But we want to let you guys know you are not alone.
At all.
And a lot of women tend to feel like they're alone. And judgment is very harsh on social media. Or even within families at the same time.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
No, you're fine. She's trying to get comfortable.
Mom, we're trying to get comfortable, but don't put her down. Come on, my baby.
Postpartum is one of those topics. It's touchy. But don't be ashamed to discuss it, to talk to somebody about it.
Sorry, y'all.
Nah, girl, you good. This is what it's like.
See, I'm not a celebrity. I don't have a babysitter.
Right. She just bringing her baby to work.
Right.
That's
bring your baby to work day.
right. And it's all good. There's nothing wrong with that, But
and you know what? That's another thing. It used to give me anxiety. So having Gia like out to eat or something, and she's crying, like she's a baby. I know she's supposed to cry. I know she's gonna get fussy. I know she's gonna get tired. But I used to apologize so much, and then I realized I need to stop apologizing for her crying, because I'm like, she's a baby, like
she doesn't know what's
right.
going on.
And I used to be like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. And like even at the doctor's office when I take her to get her checkups, I'd be like, I'm so sorry. Like can I feed her real fast? They're like, yeah, like don't apologize. It's okay. Like she's a baby, and they're saying that, but it's not registering in my head. I'm just like, okay, she needs to be quiet. We're in a doctor's office. But that's another thing. Like, it used to give me anxiety. I used to get hot and sweaty and just like, and then because I had to do it I had to go by myself because of COVID. Gary couldn't go with me. I couldn't be like, oh, can you hold her while I, put the wrap over me so I can feed her? Like, I had to do everything myself. And it didn't help with the postpartum. I'll tell you that much. It didn't help at all. But yeah, it didn't help at all. And then I remember going to my friend's house because I was picking her up because we were gonna go eat, and we went to the sushi spot and sat Gia outside in her little carrier, and she was crying, and I was like, I'm so sorry, and everyone was looking, but I know no one was looking to be like, oh my gosh, that baby's crying, because everyone knows it's a baby. But I still was just like, I'm so sorry, like, I'm sorry. And now I'll just be like I'm not gonna apologize. Like,
because you know why? It's because just one, you're still a new mom. And then two, you just like, when a baby cries, people are thinking, what's wrong with that baby?
Right.
What's wrong with that baby? Because I know what you mean, because for the longest time, the first few times, I took DJ to the doctor, it was like he would always just be so fussy, and I'm thinking, these people were probably thinking, why is this baby always fussy? Or I felt like they were judging me because I'm a first-time mom, so they're like, she don't know how to keep her baby quiet. Right. He just crying every time he come in here. And so now it's like, now he's like, he don't cry as much. Like the older he gets, he's like calm, he's cool. He might get fussy if he's hungry, and then I'll just wait to feed him once I take him to the back.
Yeah.
But I've taken him out of his seat, and he'll be cool. And I'm thinking, okay, can you just call us to the back so I can just feed him? And so I'll feed him once we get to the back. But I completely understand what you're saying, because I'm like, these people are probably judging me and all this stuff. And it's hard to be like, I'm not trying to like let what people's thoughts affect me. But it's kind of hard not to,
Yeah. You don't want people to think that you're a bad mom,
right?
You're not.
Or you don't know what you're doing.
Or
you don't know what you're doing because you're a first time mom.
Exactly.
That's what runs through my head. These people probably thinking, she don't know what she's doing because she's a first time mom. They always ask,
and half everybody don't even know that you're a first time mom.
But they be asking, is this your first?
Yeah.
How many kids you got? One. This is my first.
Right.
Yes. And so, I'm going to have a million questions for you. So you're going to really know this is my first. But it's just, you've gone out to eat. She's done more stuff.
We've gone out to eat several times.
See? She's done more stuff than me. I'm like, nah, we're going to be in the house. We was to order this food and bring it home.
I couldn't be in the house the first 6 weeks. Well, they were like, oh, you need to be in the house for 6 weeks. You know how the old people be like, you need to stay inside.
Yeah.
I was like, who's going to go to the store? Can I ride with you? Like, I just couldn't do it. I think I stayed in the house for like a week straight.
She said, can I ride with you?
And I literally just wanted to ride in the car. And then Gary's mom and sister got on me though. They was like, you open. You can't go nowhere, you open. Yeah. I didn't know what that meant. And they were like, basically, you could hemorrhage if you...
Like your body is still, not nearly exposed, but it's
still, like, it hasn't snapped back. And
right.
You're still bleeding and like all this stuff. You could bleed out kind of thing, or bleed too much, basically.
Yeah.
For walking or doing too much. And I didn't know. I wasn't listening. I'm good. I was good, but I probably should have listened. But I just couldn't sit in the house for too long because it was it was like I was getting anxiety. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. And yeah, I got in trouble a couple times for leaving the house. Not with the baby. I would leave her. But
that's good.
But I got in trouble a couple times for
yourself.
Going to the store and yeah.
See, I didn't have that option obviously because I had a C-section, girl. Yeah. And I was barely moving around, so I wasn't trying to go nowhere, no way. But it was like, even if I wanted to, I really couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, even with me having to go to, like, the doctor's appointment stuff, it was a struggle. Like, oh my goodness. I was like, I just want to stay in the house and be comfortable, let this pain go away. But, you know what? I got to give a shout out to single moms.
No, for real.
Because I don't know how you guys do it.
I can't.
But I got to give a shout out to you guys because obviously we're not single moms and it's a lot for us. So I can only imagine how single moms feel. And then to deal with postpartum on top of that. So for sure, please talk to somebody.
Yes.
Because it could be overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Talk to somebody. Don't hold it all in. Do not hold it all in. It's not worth it. You just went through carrying your baby for 9 months. And then your baby's here. You don't want all that just because.
Right.
So don't be afraid to talk to anybody.
And actually, what is it called? Because you can technically, it's kind of like, it's postpartum, but while you're pregnant. I gotta I'm gonna look the name up for y'all. We're gonna post it up here. So basically, you can experience postpartum while pregnant, or depression or whatever while pregnant.
For sure, depression. Yeah, I've heard of that.
And then when you have the baby, so postpartum actually starts like when you give birth. It can actually start like as soon as the baby pops out. Mm-hmm. And if neither one of them go treated, if you had depression while you were pregnant and then you're depressed after you have the baby, it can be really bad. Ashley's looking up the name because I cannot think of it. I'm going to read this Facebook post that I was approved to say on the podcast. So my friend wrote, I know I'm always making jokes, laughing, and not showing emotion because I'm an OG. But can I be vulnerable for a second? If I'm being honest, I've lost myself. I have anxiety now. If you know me, I used to be a selfie queen. Now I cringe of the thought of taking a picture by myself and posting it because I deleted 20 minutes later thinking it's terrible. I wrote a blog, something I used to love, posted it on my page, and deleted it within 20 minutes because I felt like it wasn't good enough anymore. I freak out at even the thought of being gone without my kids or husband to even go get my hair done. I hate my body. It's weird. I told my husband I wanted to lose 20 pounds in 2 months so I don't regret pictures we take on vacation. I get frustrated with my kids so easily now, and before I had a ton of patience. Being a stay-at-home mom is rewarding, but on the other end, it's so hard. This isn't a self-pity post, but just a vulnerability and hopefully relatable post to my fellow SAHM or moms in general. SAHM, stay-at-home moms. Mm-hmm. Many people won't even share what they're going through in fear of judgment, like we said. But I'm here to say I know it's just a season we may be going through, but I know we're going to get through it. Thanks for reading, y'all. And you know what? That's actually really bold. Because a lot of people, for one, won't talk about it.
Right.
But to post it and then in hopes of either reaching out to someone, basically making someone else feel like, okay, I'm not going through this by myself.
Right.
That was bold. That was really bold. And I appreciate her for posting that. And I even said, I appreciate you for posting this. Because there's been times now still I feel like I don't want to post a picture. I don't like my body. It's going to be face shots for y'all for a while. Because she's 8 months and I still have not snapped back. Everyone's like, oh, you look fine. But to me, it don't matter what I look like to other people. It matters what I look like to me. If I feel like I don't look good, then I'm not going to feel good about myself, So, like, of course, we appreciate people. Oh, you look good. Like, you look fine. You just had a baby. You look good. But this isn't my old body. This is a whole new body.
Right.
That I'm dealing with. And I got to figure out how to work with it. And I got to figure out, okay, how do I make myself look good even though I don't feel good, you know, about myself. Yes, I have a gym membership. I'm about to start going back to the gym. But like Ashley said before, we just eat whatever we can because we're moms and we just don't want a headache at the end of the day for not eating all day.
Right.
You know? So,
and if you're breastfeeding, you gotta have food in your system.
If you're breastfeeding, you have to have food in your system. So it's kind of hard to lose weight when you're breastfeeding because you gotta keep eating and you're always hungry.
Right.
And I feel like they lied to me because they were like, "Oh, you'll lose weight, and you'll lose weight because you're breastfeeding. It burns calories." Weird.
Okay, so let me tell you. So, I actually lost like 25 pounds when within the first month. I think probably under a month. I actually dropped like 25 pounds.
That's good.
And girl,
I think I dropped weight, but I gained it back.
I gained all of it back, if not a couple more pounds on top of that. And so I was like really shocked, like, oh my goodness, I guess breastfeeding really works. Because it just looked like my stomach just started really shrinking, like all of a sudden. And I saw that my face started going back down. It didn't look as chubby anymore. But I thought, oh, okay, I'm on the right train. Like this is good.
Right?
I'm on this weight loss train right here, and it's supposed to be good. I ain't gonna have to lose that much. I done gained that 25 pounds back. And I done gained some more. Face. I feel like I gained some more. And what ends up happening is I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna eat better, but I'm like, you know what, I gotta eat whatever I can eat.
Sometimes you don't want to prepare a meal.
Day. You're tired. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And my husband, he always tells me, Ashley, you just had a baby. Like, it's okay. Like, you know how to lose weight. It's okay. Like, and I'm like, I know, but I don't like. And so, of course, when we took pictures, when I see myself in pictures, I'm like, whew, this is not what I'm used to seeing.
Right.
But I had to tell myself, like, you know what? I'm just going to embrace myself right now and my mom body right now.
Right.
Because
they always talk about the dad bod. They never talk about the mom bod.
I'm like, this is a straight mom bod right now, and I'm going to embrace it because I brought life into this world.
Right.
And my body went through a lot, you know, and we as women, when we have kids, our bodies go through a lot. And for some reason, society literally shames people after they have kids if they don't look how they used to. Right. If they don't snap back right away like they
Even stretch marks. Like, how you gonna change stretch marks? My whole stomach was the size of a basketball and you want to change it? Okay.
And that's why I'm just like, social media and society is people are just judgmental in general. They don't have a right to judge, but they do it anyway. Right. But I completely understand what she's saying about that as far as like, I want to lose weight. I wanted this. Because that's me telling myself, I want to lose weight. I don't like how I look in pictures. Right. I needed this. And I just really had to come and tell myself, like, you know what, Ashley? Just embrace your body right now. Just embrace it. No, you don't feel your best right now. No, this is not your healthiest weight. But embrace it. Take care of your son. Take care of yourself. Right. Take care of your husband. We take care of each other. You know, that kind of stuff like that. To take care of what's important right now. Right. And yes, my me losing weight and my health is important, of course. But I gotta prioritize, like, you know. And so it's just like weight loss will come. Right. It will come. Like, and so it's just like, okay, once I get adjusted and get situated, I know I'll be able to just start dropping weight. But that's what we as moms go through. Like,
and don't think that just because you get pregnant, you automatically gain weight. A lot of people, and I know someone personally, lost a ton of weight after she had her baby. And she was diagnosed with postpartum depression. She lost a lot of weight. And she made a post and was like, she's been working out for like a year and some change now. And she's gained weight, toned up. She looks amazing. But she was saying how people were like, oh, you snapped back, you look great, da 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 da. But it was the smallest she had ever been. And she just didn't feel like she looked good because she was like, I'm too small. And I didn't even want, yeah, it's like I didn't even want to lose this weight, like, you know. But that's another thing, like postpartum depression, you can like drastically lose weight, and it may not be healthy like people may see on the outside, you know.
Very true.
So
very true, because that's where it comes in, is where you don't really have an appetite, you don't want to really eat, you don't really want to do anything,
right.
That's when that kicks in. So people got to be careful with their words, and that's in general, but people really got to be careful with their words when they talk to other women, like after having kids and stuff, because words are hurtful. And I don't care what that saying is. When we were kids, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. That's not true.
Words linger.
That's not true. I'm sorry. That is not true. Words hurt.
Yeah.
Words hurt, and the words are powerful.
Even if it's just a joke.
Right. Because that's how a lot of people want to, that's how they got to cover it up, because they want to say it's a joke. It's not okay. So everybody, be careful what you say to other people. Not, you know,
because you never know what they're really going through,
right?
And your words, negative words or jokingly funny, whatever words, can literally cause someone to just go off the deep end,
right?
And you never know, and it'll be your fault. And honestly, with that, just like how you have to end up answering to God about that. If you say something to someone that causes them harm to themselves or whatever, your words cause that, you have to answer to God about that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, just treat people the way you want to be treated. Talk to people how you want to be talked to. Don't try to cover it up with a joke, because it's not always funny.
No.
You know?
And people think that if they make a joke, then a lot of people make jokes for attention.
Right.
They think, oh, if I say this, everybody's going to laugh. Or no. It's a time and place for jokes. And everything is not a joking matter, you know. But we want you guys to talk back to us.
Right.
Let us know, have you experienced postpartum? And if so, how did you handle it? And are you experiencing postpartum right now? And if you're pregnant right now, and you're experiencing some kind of depression right now because you're getting close, sometimes you get anxiety and get depressed because you're getting close to your due date, and you get nervous.
Right.
So if you're experiencing that, so if you're pregnant right now and you're experiencing that, or if you're pregnant and you're not sure about postpartum, if you're gonna have it, you probably are.
Yeah.
But don't be scared to talk about it.
Right.
Don't be hesitant to talk about it. Many women go through it. If not all women go through it. Everyone just handles it differently. So talk about it. Know what to expect once you have your baby, and that's why the doctors ask you those questions once you have your baby. They even ask you that while you're pregnant. They ask you those questions.
If you have any suicidal thoughts and all that stuff, and if you're in an abusive relationship and all that stuff, they'll ask you.
So talk to us. Our Instagram is mommy.mentions. Our Twitter is mommy mentions, and then our email address is mommy.mentions@gmail.com.
Yes.
Contact us either way. You can comment in this video even. Send us, like I said, comment either here on YouTube. Comment if you're listening to us, right, if you're on Instagram, or email us if you listen to us on one of our podcast platforms. The audio platform, I should say. Send us an email if you don't have social media. Send us an email to open up conversation on this.
And I wanted to mention a vitamin that my niece and my sister actually told me about. It's called ashwagandha. And I have been taking it for a while.
I thought you posted that.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
I have been taking it for a while, and it helps with a lot. It helps for like conception, pregnancy, and postpartum and breastfeeding. So a lot of its benefits are that it reduces stress and anxiety. It helps with restful sleeping. It rebuilds strength and vitality. It's an immunity booster. It increases milk production, and it's just an overall good vitamin to take. So I was having anxiety. I wasn't really talking to nobody about it. I was really being really snappy, and I kind of caught myself a few times, and I was like, yo, I'm tripping. But then I was like, nope, I'm still going through postpartum. And I talked to my niece, she's older than me, about it, and she was like, get this vitamin from the vitamin store or whatever, and just start taking it. She was like, I had to take it because she got 3 kids. She was like, I had to take it with the first 2, and I just take it automatically now with this one because it helps with anxiety and all that stuff. So I've been taking it, and I honestly feel pretty good. I've been taking it for like 2-3 months now.
Oh, okay.
And I feel good. I feel like it has helped. I mean, maybe it's like a placebo effect. I don't know. But I feel like it has helped. And if you guys ever want to look into it, it's called ashwagandha. I'll write the name up here. Just talk to your doctors about it and see if you are able to take it. We're not doctors, nurses.
Right.
So talk to your doctors if that's something that you're interested in. It may actually help a lot. I mean, it's not going to be in lieu of a psychologist or or a counselor, but it may actually help a lot just with like your hormones and all that good stuff. So that's one thing that I'm taking. With all the other vitamins that I take.
Yeah, I saw that picture you posted. I'm like, girl,
gotta stay healthy.
I'm like, I thought I took a lot of vitamins and stuff. I'm like, goodness. And then I saw that one that you just said, and I was like, what is that?
Yep.
She had a whole bunch of vitamins in her
I
head.
did.
But that's good information to know too. But this is what Mom Mentions is about. We'll have conversations. We're gonna have serious conversations. We're going to have some funny conversations.
Wait till the dads get on here.
If they make it on here.
Right.
And if they don't, it's cool, But we'll just, like I said, we'll just rearrange our topics as far as what we'll be talking about each week. And when they make their appearance, they'll make their appearance, and then we'll go from there with the mommy versus daddy duties. And they'll probably even have more insight on what up till now, like how was everything they've been experiencing, and then dealing with us with our postpartum.
Right.
So that'll open up a whole nother conversation too, because I'm sure my husband will have some comments.
I'm sure
to
my
say.
boyfriend will definitely have something to say. You wasn't the same.
But it's like, but you know what? When you talk to your significant other, you do have to. I feel like you do have to be like, you know what? You got to remember, I am really dealing with this. So, and my husband, he's like, because. It's like he'd be like, how do I handle this? Like,
right.
One minute you cool, next minute you like mad at me for something, like for no reason. And I'm just like, and so then I had to start acknowledging that too. Like, Ashley, chill. Like,
right.
You just irritated right now. Like, so, but let us know. Please, let us know.
Hit us up.
Let's have this conversation. We opened up the conversation last time and wanted you guys to talk back with us as far as if you preferred a boy or girl, like if you had a preference of which one you had first. We really haven't got anything back on that one. But
actually, we got some. I posted it. It was like everyone wanted a boy. It was like 14% girl.
Really?
Yeah,
I was like, dang. How did I see? See, I'm slacking.
When you share social media, someone's gonna miss something.
Right. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't get no response back on that. So we both run the page. And so and she's usually really on it faster than I am. Or sometimes we're both on it at the same time. And then we're like, let's delete this post. Or,
right.
But it's just kind of like, oh, see, everybody wanted a boy. Huh?
Yeah. Whatever. I got my girl.
It's fun. That's interesting, though.
I know.
That's interesting to know that mostly people wanted boys first. So,
but make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you know when we post, because sometimes the YouTube actually comes on the day after the podcast posts.
It does.
We're trying to fix that.
So. Right. So bear with us with that, but we're trying to get them all up at the same time.
Right.
But for sure, please share, send it out.
Repost it for us. We
appreciate it.
We want to get the word out.
Right.
Mommy mentioned.
We're getting our numbers are going up on Instagram. We appreciate you guys following us, but interact with us.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You know, you're already following us on Instagram. Why not go ahead and subscribe to our channel on YouTube?
We got a lot of views on YouTube. We just ain't got a lot of subscribers. Right. Let's let them match. We gotta get them.
You know, so if everybody that views it, just go ahead and subscribe.
Right.
Too. That would be great. You know. But yeah, hit us up. Let's have this conversation. It's like I said, it's touchy, but it's very much needed.
Yes.
So once again, Instagram is mommy.mentions, Twitter is mommy mentions, and our email address is mommy.mentions@gmail.com. All right, you guys, this is the end of our podcast for this week. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for your support. We're out.
Much love. Peace out.